And welcome back to another Design League playthrough, and this one is from tanman9798. And straight away we've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got some retaining wall, we've got some flowers, we've got some kind of bush covered bunkers, water features, pylons in distance. There's lots to dig into here, and looking forward to seeing this. I mean, there's immediately a lot of interest in the stuff that you have done. And you can see the bunkers are really dug in, which is an interesting way of doing them, and I think will add a lot of strategic interest. Clearly 800 by 350, there's a lot of stuff to look at here, so we're going to leap right in. Okay, our first, you're giving us a hazard we can potentially carry downwind, but not otherwise. We've got a green, we've got these bunkers, and then the retaining wall, which you've stepped down the retaining wall, I think, as well. That Mayday style trick, which you've done really well, actually. I like all the elements in isolation. I'm not sure how well they go together. Personally, these kind of bunkers with the grassy walls, I'm not sure how well they fit with a very clean retaining wall. This is quite a rugged, like, natural look. This is more manufactured. And the bushes under the water is an interesting one. I'd probably raise them up a little bit, but again, I think if you do the clean retaining wall and the bunkers, the shapes scream clean, and then this screams like rugged, and they're slightly different. Just two ideas that are kind of fighting a little bit. In terms of the whole design, I like how you've done it. I wish that this bunker was back about 5 yards or so that you have the option of carrying it, because I think unless we're downwind, and I mean we are ever so slightly, I'm not carrying that, and therefore I'm forced to lay up to here, which, I mean, it's doable, it's not too long, but I don't really feel that taking this bunker on is an option, and if I'm not, then I'm hitting down here and I'm hitting at the water, so I don't really think hitting driver at all is an option. So it's basically 3 wood here or 3 wood here. And I just think you give people a bit more rope, like you let them try to carry this bunker, like let them take it on, because I don't think people are going to take this on. Or maybe bring your retaining wall in just there, like a little bit more space on fairway, and I might try this drive. Additionally, with your green, I'm not going to say I dislike the slopes. I don't. I think they're good, but I don't know whether they really influence my tee shot at all, and that's fine. They don't always have to. But I'd like to see if there's a big hazard like the water. Do I get a reward from challenging that? I guess I kind of get a backstop, but I don't really see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll try and hit a partial driver, because I think that's what you're after. Might be a little dicey. And I guess if that's what you're going for, then that's a cool shot. So maybe I'm changing my mind on that tee shot strategy. I don't know. Like, I like being asked to hit partial driver. I think the bunker on the right is the one I'd change. Very small green, particularly if I had laid up and I was coming in with, well, let's have a little look. If I'd laid back up to here, I'm coming in with we're looking 6 iron or 5 iron for some people. I think that's a very small target for this. The look is great though. I haven't commented on tree line yet. Tree line works really well, different colours. I don't know if you need the purple bushes. Dicey. Yeah, we're okay. I think I kind of wondered about this when I was zooming around the course at the start. There's a lot going on here, and I'm not sure it's all cohesive. I like all of it individually, but I think if we look at the orange flowers and then these bunkers and then the retaining wall, and I don't think there's one distilled idea of what this course is trying to be. That might be a little harsh, but all of the stuff on its own is really good. It's just necessarily is that right for the course as a whole, if that makes sense. Okay, we have a long par 3, and I'm guessing you've got a pin here. So Biarritz greens, which this is basically, it sort of is. They're great, but you've got to allow people a way to get to those front pins and stop it. And there is no way other than bouncing right here in the bunker and flopping on. There's no way that we're stopping a 4-iron on this front area. Like, you're asking for the perfect shot, which I don't think we need. Having also just asked for a partial drive, asking for a partial 5-wood, tough. I like this back pin. I love the sightline. The little walkway's cool. Bunkering, it's cool. Again, I'm still just not sure that this bearded bunker stuff fits, but oh, I've got the partial. Tell you what, we're hitting some shots. And missing putts, of course. It was a given, wasn't it? Yeah, again, I feel like you've taken driver out of our hands. Is this... Like, I know that I can hit driver here, but it's basically saying you're not going to. And I'm loving all the template concepts. So we're looking at a maiden here. I would like to widen this so that you could potentially put a pin there. I think maiden greens work better when the two wings are actually wings. Otherwise you're having rolling down and back and forth and kind of half piping a bit. But this front part is really good. And if you have a maiden where you've got a pin, 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 that works really well. Bunkering around the green's great. Elevated nature is great. We'll talk about the approach in a second. There's a lot of good here. There really is. I know I'm picking up on quite a few things, but there is lots I like. That's not a tee shot I enjoy. Yeah, kind of feel the same thing again as the previous hole. You've not allowed a huge amount of run on. If you're thinking about how the player is approaching this, okay, if I've hit the fairway, I'm maybe able to hit an iron, but how am I able to bounce this on? Look at the slope. I'm having to bounce it so perfectly because of the severity of the slope. If you flatten this out and make it a bit higher, or open it up a little bit, you've got to allow people to access front pins. And I don't think we can really do that. I mean, granted, I've taken myself out of it with that tee shot, which is fine. But there's no way I'm bouncing up and short and landing on. So it's kind of, I think a common theme for this course so far has been forcing the perfect shot, which is pretty common early on. That said, there is so much good. I do really like the planting in the background. I don't think you need the purple bush. Just like some green bushes, or even just the pine straw. Oh, if only we could putt. But all the concepts are great. Like you're really, really close. So this one I'm more okay with because we can carry this bunker, we can't carry this one. Like, you have given us an avenue to hit driver. I mean, the way you've dug the bunkers in as well looks great. Like, off the tee it looks awesome. Way, we hit a tee shot. Okay, we've gone back to back par 5s. Yeah, same thing. Front pin, like, okay, maybe I'm able to hit a hybrid and just stop it there and roll off that tier, but it's the amount of precision you're requiring is just a bit much, I think. But I do like where you've put the bunkers, and I do like how you've sculpted them. Oh, that needed it fast. Hadn't commented on green speeds before, but they're really good as well for the slopes you put on them. And I think the greens are interesting. Just allow a little bit more space in front. Oh, that needs to go. Are we gonna... Oh, maybe. Maybe we can make one. Nope. Nope, we can't. Back-to-back par 5s and we make nothing. I was wondering when we were going to have the Redan. I think this one could use a longer shot. Redans typically for a long iron, so we're looking for like... And the reason is, if you imagine a 4-iron landing on this, 4-irons roll out because of the lack of loft, so it's going to naturally encourage ground game, whereas the club we're hitting here, a 7-iron, you can see the slopes you've had to make because the 7-iron just wants to stop when it hits. And we're going to miss all of them. I like the back bunker, that's very good. And leads to a frightening shot here. Grab. Not quite. But yeah, I think... And I can understand why you haven't, and I think it's probably the right move not to make it a long hole because you had your Biarritz second. But then I'd be questioning and going, well, if we're going templates, a Redan and Biarritz both have to be pretty long holes. Like Biarritz particularly. Good lion's mouth, really like this. This one's great. But coming back to the last, I'd be asking myself, well, probably want an even, or if nothing else, definitely a short. If you're going for one long, you want a mix of your par 3s. Sloping wise, don't love the red dropping into the bunker, and we got a bit of slightly messy line work here. I actually think your bunker would work way better, and on the lion's mouth as well, strategically, is if you raised it and had the slopes feed outwards into the green. So imagine this red slope reversed, so this side was high, this side was low. Actually, that's going to make it's going to play way better, because you don't see this happen. You don't see kind of greens falling off into heavy rough and then the bunker. Unfortunately, we can't make it really, so I mean, save sandbelt courses, you can't really make it so that greens run into bunkers. Now this might be drivable, but I think only a madman would drive this. However, for this pin, I like the idea of going down here. Maybe a little var, but we can hopefully leave a little splash back up. Oh, that's really travelled. And I've left the dicey putt that I wanted to avoid. Do I have anything else on this hole? I mean, we've got a couple of little bits of bushes just popping up through your retaining wall that you'd want to check. I guess the only thing I'd say with this one is you've given us all of these options and really thought about it well. If you're doing that, I think make pin 1, which everyone's going to play. Don't make it the one where you can take all of those options out of play by blasting it over. Like pin 1 here would be perfect, because then you're asking people to go there. Or guess what's the play where you want to be this side? I don't know if there's a pin where I want to be here, which is a shame because you want to challenge people to hit out the water. Now, maybe though, let's imagine spin the screen round this way about 20 degrees, so your bunker is actually here. Lose this as fairway, and then suddenly for that back pin you probably do want to be here. Anyway, let's see if we can do this. Not with that putt. There we go. But yeah, overall, really fun course. Like, okay, I haven't shot too well, but I thought the whole concepts were great. A couple of your holes were brilliant. There's a few clashing ideas, although the bushes grew on me the longer I went. So I won't necessarily be anti on those. Yeah, I think really the main one would be, for me, like, focusing on allowing ground game, particularly on your longer holes. But really enjoyed that. Good luck, and yeah, hope it goes well.